Hey everybody, it's Missy bringing you another layout for My Scraps and More. Thank you so much for joining me today. I made this layout for last week's Throwback Thursday challenge over on the My Scraps boards, and I'm going to be scrapping this picture of me and my mom and my sister back from Mother's Day this year. And I'm going to be using some stickers and papers from Heidi Swap September Skies collection and these rub-ons from Crate Paper Kiss Kiss. And the challenge was to use up some of your stash of rub-ons. And if you're like me, you probably have some that you've hoarded because you love them so much and you wanted to save them for the perfect layout one day. And then a year later you realize, I never made that perfect layout and I still have these rub-ons. Yeah. That happens to me with a lot more than just rub-ons. But anyway, I found these in my stash of Crate Paper stuff, and I thought it's time to use these things. They're going to go bad, and then they're not going to rub on right, so use them or lose them. And so I wanted to use up some stash that I've had on my shelves for a while, and I've really been drawn to this Heidi Swap line lately. I've been staring at it for a while, and I think I used parts of it for another layout recently, but I wanted to use it again. And so I had the idea to create some diamond shapes on my page, and so I just grabbed one of my square punches and went through the 6x6 pad and punched out a bunch of different patterns. And it took me a while to kind of get the design that I liked. I really loved the look of all these diamonds, but it just never really worked for this page. I don't know if it was the colors or the picture or the combination or the way I arranged them, but I just didn't like the way, I didn't really know where to put my picture at this point. So I just took some time to play around with the shapes and try to get a design that I liked and that gave me a spot for my picture. And I like these papers because I have some stripes, some dots, some florals, some, busy ones, some solid ones, and a variety of colors, which I love. So I scrapped the idea of diamonds and actually try to go with the square idea, and I just try to make one big square here with my picture in the middle. I didn't like that either. I don't know. I think it was just too busy, and I think it makes a difference when your photo is in color versus black and white. At least it does for me. I think it gives it a whole different look whenever you put a picture up against a lot of different pattern papers. And I wanted this picture to be in color. I don't know why. I just did. I liked it in color. And so I'm going to make it work. And I finally decide on this design here. And I get my T-square ruler out because I want this line of squares to be perfectly straight as much as I can get them. And then I'm going to go from there. I do want to make a diamond layout though. I've seen several layouts lately with diamonds and it just really, really inspired me. And that was my original intention for this, but you know how that goes. You start out with one idea and then you completely change it. Okay, so this is going to be my base here, and I'm going to work from the left to the right, building some different things here. So I am going to add some mixed media to the background, and so I'm going to give this a light coat of white gesso. And it is going to help blend out some of the bright colors and the patterns, but I didn't want them to be completely covered, and so I just used my hand to thin it out. And I'm going to add a few more squares here, not all of them. And again, I didn't want it to be so busy that my picture gets lost, because sometimes, the background is so colorful or there's so many patterns going on, and then if your picture is busy, it's very difficult to for the picture to stand out. At least that's the way I see it. So I didn't want it to be so busy. So I do add a little bit of tissue paper behind the picture, and that's going to give it a little bit of depth and a little bit of separation from the patterns behind it. And of course, running your tape gun over tissue paper is a challenge because it's so thin it just wants to come up. Anyway, I'm going to go through these Kiss Kiss rub-ons here, and I'm going to use several of them, and they're actually as good as new, except for that one that halfway just came off that I had to get rid of. Some rub-ons don't last very long, and if you don't use them pretty soon after you get them, they dry up and they don't rub on very well at all. But these actually, I've had them however long it's been since Kiss Kiss came out, over a year, and they actually went on very smoothly. So that was very, very nice. And I'm going to come in with some of these hearts because I think they're super cute, and you know, that was part of this challenge, was to use up your rub-ons. And I didn't want to go overboard, but I did want a good portion of my embellishing on this page to be rub-ons. And I like the way that rub-ons resist, you know, they resist ink, they can resist the gelatos, and they're actually, I was worried about them going on because I put the I put the gesso down, and sometimes the texture of gesso can affect, you know, it can affect rub-ons, it can affect the stickiness of a sticker, you know, so I was worried after I put the gesso on. I thought, okay, I'm supposed to use rub-ons, but are they going to stick? But they actually went on very well. I was very impressed. And I'm just cutting this long line of arrows so I can scatter them around here and there. And I just want some layers created here. I really wasn't thinking too hard. I just wanted to get some designs down or some shapes down. And I definitely wanted to use these little sketchy geometric hearts. And so I use a couple of those to the right of the picture, and then I also add in that little arrow. And now I'm going to come in with my gelatos here and just add a little bit of watercolor. And I like the fact that, you know, I'm not going to be able to cover up the gelato, or I'm so tongue-tied. I'm not going to be able to cover, bleh. Do I speak English? Last time I checked, I spoke English. I'm having trouble today. The gelatos will not cover up the rub-ons. There, I said it. Yay. Good grief. Because of the material they resist the mixed media. And so when I take my napkin and dab over it, it wipes it off of the rub-on. Did I say that correctly? Good grief. This is like the third time I've tried to do this voiceover, and every time I say something wrong. But I'm not going to stop it this time. I'm just going to go for it. Now, one thing I've learned about red gelatos, a little bit goes a long way. So you can see there, I just barely did one little smudge, and it's very bold. So just be aware of your colors of gelatos. The darker and bolder the color, the less you need of it, because it will definitely smudge a long way. So I'm just adding in some reds, some pinks, some blues, and a little bit of orange, because there is a little bit of orange in that floral paper. And, you know, I'm just playing here. The water brush is super easy to use. You just add a little smudge of the gelato, and then you add the water brush. You give it a little squeeze, and a little bit of water comes out, and it's perfect. And I've had a couple people ask me where I get this water brush, and mine's just a cheap one from Michael's. It's Pentel, and I didn't find it in the scrapbook section. I found it in the paint section. Oh, I did some stitching there off camera. It's in the paint section, and it was close to the end of one of the aisles, and there was a whole little end aisle section of Pentel products, pens and things like that, and then they had this water brush there. I think it was $8.99, and I used my coupon, and so, you know, it wasn't that expensive, and I really, really love it. And I'm sure there are higher grade ones that you can get from, you know, online or probably even in Michael's, but you know, this one's fine for me. So I added some thread underneath my picture, and I'm going to glue that down so I know that the picture is going to stay put. And I'm liking how this is looking. I do change my mind about this title. This is also from one of the Heidi Swap collections, and it's one of those color magic deals where you can add the ink and then wipe it off, and then the white part will resist the color. And you'll have this really cool shaded looking design with the white part showing. And I love how that looks with the red, and add a little bit of pink to give it some variation in color. But I wind up not using it. I decided to change my title, and it's going to be Mama in the Middle. Because every time my mom, my sister, and I get together and go out to eat, we always have to go in the parking lot after we eat and take silly selfies. And we laugh, and we crack up, and we make jokes, and we look crazy out in the parking lot taking pictures. But we have so much fun. And Mom's little face is always behind us, sticking her head through the middle of us. And so I decided to make this Mama in the Middle, because Mama always is in the middle of us. And it's just fun memories. We have a good time. And this was Mother's Day last year, and we took her to eat at Carrabba's. And it was fun. We have a good time. We have our movies that we quote, and we love Dancing with the Stars, and so we have to talk about all the hot guys on Dancing with the Stars that we love, and, we just act silly and have fun. So it's a fun memory, and I don't want to ever forget all the fun things that we do and all the fun dinners that we've had. So anyway, I'm going to be using these stamps, and these are no, they're not. They're Ellie's Studio, and these are pretty new. I've had these for couple weeks, and I got them from the My Scraps store, and there are a couple different designs. And then I'm just going to use my black Sharpie to add in my own handwriting to type in so it's Mama in the Middle. And that camera is Heidi Swapp also. And I just cut Mama on white cardstock in my Cameo. And the bottom of it is blue. I added the gelatos, but it's kind of bright, so you can't really see that, but in person you can see it. And then I grabbed a flare button from my stash. That's from A Flare for Buttons, and added some thread under it like I usually do. And it fit perfectly right there in the center of that camera, and the green was a perfect match, so I had to use it. Now, these are some stickers from Evalicious. I also got those from the My Scraps store. They're just random little stickers, and I keep those in a little bin on my desk for just anything that they might match. I don't have them saved, or not saved, but stored in a certain collection of anything. So I have this little bin on my desk that I keep all my odds and ends in. And, you never know when a little sticker might match something. And so that's a little speech bubble that says "Love Us." And these white stickers are from Simple Stories. And I think those are from the DIY Boutique line. And I keep those in the same bin because they're white, and you never know when they might match something, and so I keep those out. Now, this little green hello, and then there's a light blue hello up by the other heart at the top. Those are Heidi Swapp, as well as these stickers. And so I'm just going to go through and find ones that I like what they say, and that they're the right color. They say good stuff. And then I'm going to use this one that says tradition, because this kind of is a tradition. Every time we go out, like I said, we have to do this funny selfie series of pictures, and there are so many funny ones, but this is actually one of the good ones. But I could probably make 10 layouts on all the goofy pictures that we take, and I wouldn't trade those memories for anything, because we have such a good time together. Now, I just did a little bit of ripping and tearing of some paper here, the red, because I wanted that color over on the right a little bit, because I don't have any of that red. I have the red at the top and the bottom of those squares, but I don't have any over on the right, and so I want to add in just a little bit. So a little rip of paper is perfect for that, and it helps that sticker that says tradition to kind of have a place to stand or to sit. Then I'm going to come in with my T-square ruler again and draw some lines for my journaling. And sometimes my pen doesn't want to write very well on top of the gesso, but I just keep going over it, and it's not the best, but it works for me. And then the last thing I'm going to do is come in with the black color shine, and I think that's going to wrap it up. Yep, that's it. There's the final page. I'm very happy with how it turned out. I think it's super cute, and I'm glad I changed the title because it makes me smile, and the picture's awesome. I just love it. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please let me know if you had any questions about anything that I used or anything that I did. I hope to see you over on the My Scraps boards. We have so many fun challenges going on all the time. Lots of prizes to be won all the time. So thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.